if I did the mic right. Y'all let me know if it sounds like that I got the mic on. Let's see. Is there what retouch? Mic. Hold on, I might fuck myself up here. I'm gonna do a chat check here, okay? I'm gonna take my mic. I'm gonna say testing, 1, 2, 3, okay? I'm gonna put behind my back. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Does it sound the same? Is my mic on? I'm waiting on somebody to let me know. Does it sound the same when I do this and when I do this? Somebody in chat here's gotta tell me. Because otherwise I'm gonna fucking switch this up. The mic is on. Thank you. Okay, there we go. Cheers. Cincinnati Fireball. Awesome, great. Sometimes it doesn't work like that. Okay, howdy there, reprobates. We're gonna do a little, little chat today. Nothing too serious, just talking about what is anarchy, what is anarchism, what is an anarchist. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Making a little vitamin bevy here. Helps my brain work better, hopefully. So I've been doing, Sayden, why do you always do that when I start streaming? Like, here, there you go. There you go. Thank you. Fuck yeah. Yeah, so I've been doing, I did my second episode of Anarchist News yesterday. And of course, there was a ton of people in the chat saying really, really dumb stuff. And I've always been really, really forward about being an anarchist and my ideas about society and politics without making it like the center of everything that I'm doing, especially with my content, because I prefer to show rather than tell. So that's why I like to do my slice of life videos. And, they're not the most like quality videos, but the substance is there, and that's what's really important. But as like a visible anarchist, I deal with a lot of people who aren't anarchists telling me that I'm not an anarchist because an anarchist believes in this and that, and then they proceed to argue against a straw man and not me at all. Like, and I just really can't engage with that. It's there's no point to it. Like, they're already going to misunderstand and misdirect. And I think that it's important for me to not engage with that because there are so many better things to engage with, like all of you who are actually here for a discussion. So I'm going to check in on the chat here. Fireball says the chat was berserk. It was, you know what? Honestly, I'm going to be real, like, as annoying as the fucking shitty trolls are, they're doing me a lot of favors. I'm not going to lie. And I'm not mad about it. It's getting in the way of our discussions, but we have plenty of discussions in the Discord, and I've been Antifa posting all over my Instagram, on my Instagram stories. So if you want like daily news clips, at least for now, I don't know how long I'll be doing this for, but I've been posting like tons of newsreels on my Instagram stories. So if you're interested in that, like as a daily thing, a little short format stuff to keep you in the loop of what's going on in between my anarchist news segments, give me a follow on Instagram. I'm going to pull up my computer here. Just go on Instagram and type in corneliusvango, just like it's written on my YouTube channel. If you want the inside scoop, baby, because I know you do. Let's see. Okay. Just pulling up my shit here. Watch live. Federal Reserve Chair Powell holds a news conference following interest rate meeting. That's on PBS. I watch PBS like basically every day, but like the thing about that is that it does have a lot of information about like what's going on, but it is still through like a capitalist lens. They are still owned by media moguls. But it's a good kind of jumping point as long as you recognize that like a lot of the stuff that they say and focus on, they have to, with little nuggets of like real shit that the people care about in between. But anyway, hell yeah, hot new train vid dropping soon. Actually, I just set up the premiere this morning. So if y'all are interested in my train stuff, so I got a little sidetracked talking about trolls, but like all of the trolls in my chats, and also I've been bitching about how much I hate the vertical format streams. I really hate them. But right now I'm in dire straits, so please forgive me, longtime viewers. I have been compromising my my typical way of putting my content out, and it's because I've literally been starving. Hunger is a hell of a thing, and poverty is a hell of a thing, especially when you're navigating the medical system, which I have been, and it's not been going well. It's been over 6 months now of trying to get a new prosthetic leg. I've been in incredible pain. So the whole healthcare situation really does hit close to home for me, as I'm sure it does for many of you, because we all have. Oh, I'm just like that. That's fan service, okay? Enjoy that. All right, there you go. Cheers, reprobates. I am not above showing a little butt and doing a little fan service for y'all. Because you know it's been hard. So I've been putting out more content, talking a little bit more about stuff that is dear to my heart, and doing the stupid vertical format. I hate it. But the trolls coming into the vertical streams, one, that's a lot of new people coming onto my channel that otherwise wouldn't be seeing it. And two, their engagement with my streams has been really, really boosting my views. Today, again, I have the most new subscribers that I've ever had on my channel. I think this morning it was like 835 new subscribers in the last 28 days. Boxerman says, what's happened to YouTube? I can't see Corn and read the chat at the same time anymore. That sucks. Yeah, I'll definitely be doing more horizontal streams also. It gets so much better engagement, which is shiesty, you know, like the corporations want us to alter the way that we put out content so that they can capitalize on it more. Meanwhile, it's killing art and it's killing artists. It's really annoying. But so all that to say, my engagement on my channel has been going up a lot because I have been playing the game and jumping through the stupid hoops. I won't always do that. And this weekend on Sunday, we will be having a premiere at 4 p.m. for Pacific Standard Time for my new train video. And I'm really excited about it. I wasn't sure how I wanted to release it or if I was going to release it. I've gone back and forth on a number of things. I've talked to a number of my my friends who are rail riders that I respect a lot and got their opinion on things just to make sure that I wasn't including anything that would blow up any spots or be in poor taste. And I think it'll be okay. If I had been working on editing another video about something else, a different aspect of my life, that's what I would be dropping this weekend. But I got to strike when the iron is hot. So yeah. Let's see. Vert means you can't see both blows, but bring subs and views. God, really? Oh man, that's terrible. Yeah, that's awful. I really hate that, guys. Fucking YouTube is a piece of shit. Yeah, I hate it here. I love you guys, but I fucking hate it here. and I have been looking into streaming through Twitch instead or something like that. I can circumnavigate with the fact that I have been more sedentary because of my leg and medical process. It's giving me a lot more time to focus on my internet stuff. I've never done this before, like this level of work on my content and my channel. You know, I kind of just was like, I just want to make videos and upload them to the internet so that I don't lose them when inevitably my computer gets destroyed or I lose hard drives or whatever happens, because I've lived a nomadic lifestyle for a long time. But Cincinnati Fireball says, I watch and chat on 2 devices. Actually, Fireball, you were asking about becoming a mod. I'm going to mod you right now. I know I said we were going to do a few things to prepare for that, but you've been really consistently in chat. There you go. We'll just fuck around with it. There we go. I don't see any other mods in chat today. That might be my fault, but you know. Okay, so what is an anarchist? Does anybody want to tell me what is an anarchist? Because I get a lot of, like I was saying earlier, I get a lot of people who are not anarchists, don't understand what anarchy is or means, have never read theory, have no fucking idea, and then they hear that I'm an anarchist, and then all they want to do is explain to me why that's bullshit and that I'm not actually an anarchist and what anarchy is and means. And it's really exhausting because they'll go on to explain it like wrong and poorly. Oh, Aaron's here. Okay, cool. Boxerman says an anarchist wants little to no government. Yeah, there's like I have done a talk about this before in horizontal stream. I think I did like a whole series on like activism or something, like how to get involved in your community and anarchy and whatever. An anarchist is like by definition against rulers. No gods, no masters or whatever. Like, let's take a look on the internet. I've done this before too. What is an anarchist online? Let's see what a person who advocates or promotes anarchism or anarchy. Okay, whatever. Without rulers, basically, that's what anarchy is. And the dictionary says a state of disorder due to absence. See, that's wrong. It's not a state of disorder. The absence or non-recognition of authority or other controlling systems. Okay. That's kind of, I mean, the non-recognition of authority is true. But let's see. Okay, the second definition is a little bit more correct. It's the organization, anarchy is the organization of society on the basis of voluntary cooperation without political institutions or hierarchical government. There we go. That's more like in the realm of anarchism. But a lot of people get hung up on theory. And that is good in understanding like why and how anarchism and anarchy look and what is and isn't praxis, but it's not oh shit, I got distracted here. Funny-tastic is lost. Have a nice day. We're in a state of disorder under our government. Yeah, right. All right, we got trolls coming into chat. Awesome. So I'm just gonna ignore trolls and let my mods handle it. We get Fireball's trial by fire. All right, let's see how you do. It's time to play Whack-A-Troll, baby. We love to see it. Actually, I genuinely do. So I'm gonna try and ignore that because it really does drive up my views. Mermaiden says, I like that second definition of anarchy a lot. Right. It's like voluntary cooperation. And we live in states of anarchy more than we realize. It's the absence of government. But also it's not just the absence of government. Anarchy is autonomy, and it is that we are our own government. We govern ourselves in the space that we occupy. Let's see. I lived in Slab City for many, many years, and it was my my time there that really kind of put a light on some concepts for me. Let's see. I'm trying so hard not to get distracted by these dumb shit comments. Ace Ministry says, hey, bro, sending you love and blessings from over the pond in the UK. Keep slaying. Thank you. Appreciate that. I actually just can't imagine being I'm okay, I'm gonna bite my tongue. I'm definitely gonna do a stream where I just like roast every person that comes into my chat. But I'm not gonna do that today. Let's see. Oh, Lauren Sullivan says, if you have a different moral compass, we choose not to engage with you. What? Are you talking to me? Because if you are, then you just engaged with me. So that's pretty dumb. You're an inspiration, dude. Let everything that you've been through and keep going, and you keep going, not letting your situation determine your life. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Let's see. Satan, shut up. We have a ghost in the building. The ghost is an anarchist as well. I think the important thing about identifying as an anarchist is not getting all hung up in theory. There is a lot of misinformation that is perpetuated in the media surrounding what an anarchist is and does, with the focus, of course, invariably being on destruction and chaos. But that glosses over the fact that we experience so much destruction, chaos, death, and injustice under the military-industrial complex, the capitalist regime, and fuck, what's the word I was looking for? I really need ADHD meds bad. It's making it so hard to focus. That's another thing I'm trying to work on with the medical system. Boxer Man says, I love corn on days when I'm an anarchist, but also on days when I am not. Right? I think it's less important to like get hung up on the definition and more important to just be active in your community. Like, you don't have to be comfortable going around telling people that you're an anarchist. There's not really much utility to it anyway, because it just kind of sparks infighting. I've been a victim of that as well, like in talking about anarchist ideology. Like there was this one time at a party like forever ago, and this guy got super fucking butthurt about it and just wanted to yell at me and tell me that I was wrong and that I was stupid. And I basically almost fist fought him in my friend's basement, but I was just like, nah, fuck you. And everybody else was like, nah, fuck you. Collectively, we all just kind of were like, yeah, this guy sucks. but like it, dude basically ruined the party. And if I wasn't in somebody else's house, I would have acted differently, but I was in somebody else's house. So, you know, I really love banning people on my streams for saying stupid shit. Um, yeah. There was somebody on stream yesterday that was like, you can't be an anarchist and then ban people for saying things that you don't like. And that's like an example of how people will create a straw man. I've found recently that a really good way of like not arguing with people and just schooling them is just to point out the logical fallacies that they're employing in whatever verbal assault that they're trying to lob against you. Like, if they're bringing up a straw man, just tell them that it's a straw man. Be like, that's a straw man. You don't have to elaborate. You don't owe them an explanation, because they're not there to actually have a conversation. They're just there to be a dipshit. Reese says you are wrong. Okay. Just the mom says I'm late. I thought we were live at 4. Wait, is it not 4? No, that's oh yeah. Today was at 12. Um, did I say 4 in the chat? I'm sorry. I guess I might have fucked that up too. Yeah, just disclaimer for my mods. I'm really trying hard to keep things like, together, but with the channel growing and trying to do bigger and more things, I'm frequently biting off a little bit more than I can chew, and I'm also trying to keep track of like a bunch of other things so I can get my life together. And it's going okay. It's not that oh yeah, I didn't say 4. It was at 12. I put a notification in the announcement on the announcement board. The train video is at 4 on Sunday. Maybe that's why you got confused. Is there anybody in chat that actually has questions about anarchy or the practice of anarchism or what it means to be an anarchist? From my perspective, like it's not as academic as a lot of people like to make it out to be. If it's inaccessible to the poor, it's neither radical nor revolutionary. So that means if you start to try to talk about anarchy and somebody just throws a bunch of fucking school words at you and, quotes a bunch of like theory, and then just like shuts you down in the conversation altogether because you don't know enough fancy school words, that's not praxis. That's that's not it. They're not doing it. They're just trying to impress somebody and regurgitating stuff that they learned. Silver Sphinx says, I unfortunately missed the definition. I haven't really given a definition yet. I kind of like started talking about what anarchy means. The organization of society on the basis of voluntary cooperation, without political institutions or hierarchical government. And there's a ton of books on anarchism. Anarchism and anarchy are two different things because anarchy is the actual like experience of non-governed space, and like a collective autonomous space, even if it's just like you and a couple other people. So like every time you are making conscious decisions in the absence of the government telling you what to do, every time you choose to do something, regardless of whether it's legal or not, or, like what the proper protocol according to the government is, that's anarchy. Anarchism is the political theory of anarchy. So anarchism is a political theory advocating the abolition of hierarchical government and the organization of society on a voluntary cooperative basis without recourse to force or compulsion. So anti-fascism, essentially, anti-government control. And I think a lot more people are anarchists than they realize. It's just a word that's been demonized by the media because it is actually a legitimate threat to the system and the status quo. So an anarchist practices anarchy and autonomy and free thought, and advocates for uh, marginalized people, because if you're a marginalized person, you are targeted by the system and you are at a disadvantage because of it. And I've said before, like, I'll stop being an anarchist when a better system of government presents itself, something that I can believe in and get behind. But the human race is flawed, and we're still working on a lot of stuff, like base stuff, that are kind of like symptoms of the human condition: greed, malice, and shit. I don't know. Let's see. Human condition. Let's look up just the human condition. Emotions, events, relationships, stages of life. Yeah. So if our systems of government are beholden to the human condition, then they are inherently corrupt by our emotions of jealousy, sadness, fear, lack of empathy, greed. And capitalism is kind of like a manifestation of that. And in the, I want to say, like, let's take a look at how long capitalism has been the operating system of our society. Let's see. How long has capitalism existed? That's what I thought. Okay. I didn't want to say it and sound stupid if I wasn't right, but capitalism's origins can be traced back to the 16th century, but modern capitalism emerged during the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, which actually makes a lot of sense. So anarchists are also, by definition, anti-capitalism, because capitalism is dependent on the subjugation of the working class. And anybody who says otherwise is a fucking liar. Looking at you, anarcho-capitalists. Anarcho-capitalist is just fascism with extra steps, or libertarianism at best. There's a history of capitalism here. Let's take a look. Capitalism is an economic system based on the private ownership of the means of production. This is generally taken to imply the moral permissibility of profit, free trade, capital accumulation, voluntary exchange, wage labor, etc. Its emergence, evolution, and spread are the subjects of extensive research and debate. All right. Agrarian capitalism. I don't know about that. Crisis of the 14th century. According to some historians, the modern capitalist system originated in the crisis of the late Middle Ages, a conflict between the landowning aristocracy and the agricultural producers or serfs. Oh yeah, I think I've read a little bit about this. Manorial arrangements inhibited the development of capitalism in a number of ways. Serfs had obligations to produce for lords and therefore had no interest in technological innovation. They also had no interest in cooperating with one another because they produced to sustain their own families. The lords who owned the land relied on force to guarantee that they received sufficient food because lords were not producing to sell on the market. There was no competitive pressure for them to innovate. Finally, because lords expanded their power and wealth through military means, they spent their wealth on military equipment or on conspicuous consumption that helped foster alliances with other lords. They had no incentive to invest in developing new productive technologies. So capitalism was corrupt before it even grew into adult capitalism like we have now. This was like teenager capitalism, toddler capitalism, maybe. Let's see. Anti-establishmentarianism. Yeah, let's see. Let's look up the word anti-establishmentarianism. Definition and meaning. Oh my God, come on. A policy or attitude that views a nation's power structure as corrupt, repressive, exploitive, etc. Yeah. Yeah, I think because of all the misinformation about what anarchy and activism is, that's what gets people all tripped up and fired up. PDM says most people don't have time for this if they have a 9-to-5 job, a wife, kids, and a life to deal with. Don't have time for what? To think about their situation within society? That's exactly correct. Yeah, that's the problem. Total Text says train video looks fire. Does it? Did you? How does, like, what do you mean? Like the thumbnail? Because I haven't. It hasn't gone. I mean, I did do a little bit of a preview on yesterday's stream, like a tiny bit. But I don't know how you would have seen it. Let's see. Yeah. Anyway, so being anti-capitalist and like, oh shit. Let's see. There's a lot of confusion. I guess I'm gonna roll a cigarette and I'm gonna let folks ask questions. See if y'all can prompt me to explain some things because it's just such a goddamn big topic and there's so much confusion around it. If I had the presence of mind, I would have like a spider graph of like different terms and ideas that I could, then organize into like subcategories, etc., and then explain each individual idea more fully. But this is all kind of new to me. Like I kind of, I started making videos. Come here, bub. There you go. I started making videos like for, I don't know. I didn't really think that hard about it, right? Like I just wanted to document my life and share aspects of it with friends and family, and if I got following, then that would definitely help me to continue doing what I do. And obviously my views and the way that I put out my content has evolved. Like my ethics haven't changed, they've just deepened and grown. And as far as capitalism goes, like I'm not anti having money. Okay. I think a lot of people get tripped out on that. They hear like anti-capitalist and they're like, oh, you just hate money. And that's not the case at all. Capitalism isn't like acquiring things and living comfortably and making money. Being a capitalist is hoarding wealth, like beyond what you can possibly use, like Elon Musk does. He just hoards it. Like it's more money than he can ever use in his entire lifetime, or that any of us could use in our entire lifetimes. He just passed $400 billion. Like that's an insane amount of money. Like think of all the poverty that you see. That one guy alone could solve global poverty. but he won't because he's the one causing it. Because of the allocation of goods and capital, uh, there's millions of people around the world suffering and dying. It's not like just a condition of the world. There's enough stuff in the world for people to live comfortable, healthy lives. It's just that these fucking ghouls, these absolute shitheads, the 1%, is hoarding everything and taking stuff from everybody else who's doing all the actual work. They're not even doing real jobs. They're just holding all the money. And because they have all the money, they can make decisions that affect everybody on this planet. And that's not right. You don't have to be a student like of politics or whatever at a world-renowned university to look around and see the injustices in the world and be upset by them. That's a fallacy. They want to gatekeep anarchism from the working class, because if we ever figure out that it's not about politics, it's about survival, and that we outnumber them 100 to 1, then they'd be kind of screwed. So it's a lot of astroturfing and gatekeeping of ideologies, and alienating people, alienating the poor from movements that belong to the poor. Oh shit, where's my lighter? I'm gonna look back at the chat and see what questions folks have for me and have asked, or if they have any comments. I'll get to them in just a sec. I will take a look. All right. Ugh. Let's see. Let's see. That's why so many people can't get out of their situation, because they don't have time. Right. Yes, because the corporate dogs are stealing all your time by stealing all the resources and then making you work for less and less. You know, people that do work a 9 to 5 and have families are doing increasingly more and have less to show for it. And that's not going to stop unless we do something. Silver Sphinx says make time. No. That's wait. Solidarity is another core tenet of anarchy and anarchism. So working class solidarity is extremely important. Don't blame the person suffering under capitalism for the situation that they're in. You need to educate and be patient with people. And I know it seems counterintuitive, but that's why I ban people that are in here not to have a conversation, but to just be stupid and say dumb shit, because they're not here for a conversation, and they're going to detract from it, from people who actually do want to have a conversation. My hair's stupid right now, but that's okay. It's a vicious cycle. Yes, it is. It is. And that's, like, there's little tiny acts of anarchy that you can do in your everyday life, whether it's planting seeds in a public park or a median or something, somewhere, like, going and having a picnic in an empty lot, setting up a little free library, feeding the homeless. Like, every time I see a homeless person and I have like snacks or water, I'm going to give them that. If I have $1, I'm going to give them that. Just practicing solidarity in those little moments of your everyday life. And maybe instead of watching watching CNN at the end of the day or whatever, you can watch something by somebody else, or you can use that time to watch like a documentary on different movements, so that you can you can slowly work toward class consciousness and political consciousness. Silver Sphinx says, if you're waiting for more time to do things, you'll never do anything. That's right. Yeah, defeatism is something that is instilled by society as well, and we want to resist that. We want to resist doomerism and defeatism. Just a Mom says anarcho-passivism through anarcho-capitalism, etc. What is the spectrum of thought levels of activism? Uh-huh. Yeah, except anarcho-capitalism. That's a misnomer. That's anarcho-capitalists are not anarchists. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Lauren Sullivan says, I've watched you since you had shit Wi-Fi in the trailer hanging out with your friends. Nice. Hell yeah. Yeah, we've come a long way. Patricia Moore says, how do you feel about voting for school bonds? I'm not like anti-voting. I'm just I'm not like really anti anything. I'm anti-fascist for sure and anti-capitalist, but like I'm pro-education. So if what you're voting for helps people to get more education, then I'm all for that. And funding for schools, of course, is important, but also you got to remember that there's like fine print in those statutes and laws and rules or whatever that like on its face might look like it's good, but then when you read the fine print, it will have some things that are good and then some things that are extremely detrimental. So I mean, you know, if you're going to participate in the system, you need to know what you're participating in, and that's a lot more work. They want you to just like see stuff at face value and vote for it, and they're going to use your lack of education to exploit you. So just be careful. Unfortunately, we have to live within the system and we need money to function. That's actually wrong, PDM. We don't have to live within the system and we don't need money to function. Those are lies that are perpetuated by the ruling class. The system that you're talking about, that you're referring to, the system of government and the military industrial complex and the police system, that's all, that's, what is it? It's a side effect of industrialization. And it's also part of the system that exploits us. As for money, we made that shit up. We don't need that at all. It's just numbers that put people in certain classes, you know? No war but class war, right? Don't get distracted by the culture war. It's all about the class war. And the class war is a symptom of capitalism. That's why there's so much of a difference between you and I and the billionaire class. I'm not saying like money is something like, I don't know, you can get by without money. It's just like I've been living outside of society with little to no money for a really long time, and that in and of itself kind of becomes its own occupation. You can do it, but at this point in my life, I'm dabbling a bit with a little bit more of a nuanced approach to that. And actually, I'm about to say, if you would like to donate money to me so that I can continue eating and living, there are links in the description below. You can donate directly to me. If you donate through YouTube, Google takes a big fat cut, like 10%, and I don't see that shit until like a month from now or more. I get last month's pay this month, and next month I'll get this month's pay, which is garbage. There's no creators union for YouTubers or content creators, but you can donate directly through my PayPal and my Venmo. There are links in the description. So if you would like to do that, that's great. Critter says, do you have me blocked from chat? No, I don't. I can see what you're saying. I just thought you left. Michael Nightwolf says, I came here to converse with Cornelius. Well, dude, you're watching my live stream, so that's not really having a conversation. You don't have more rights to monopolize my time than anybody else here in chat. So slow your roll and be fucking humble, because that's really annoying. Now, if you dropped $100 in my PayPal right now, maybe I would directly converse with you. And then if you dropped another $100, I would maybe directly converse with you for a little longer. But fuck you, pay me. I don't owe you shit. Lauren Sullivan says, or just smiling and hugging someone who asks for money you may not have. Simple kindness can change a whole day. Right, yeah, radical acts of kindness, that's praxis, man. Like, you don't have to be you don't have to be like on the front lines of every march for justice. Some of us don't have the ability to do that. You know, we all have different abilities and skills and means. And, you know, just making a difference in the space that you occupy, that's what you can do. That's huge. Each of us making those little decisions every day to support fellow humans and create more equity in our world, that's radical. That's awesome. Art Lover says, wow, it's been over a year since I seen you live. I've been in jail. Damn, welcome to the outside world. Glad you got out of that. The prison system is, and the incarceration system is a hell of an entity. Let's see. Just Mom says commodity is just as valuable as money. We need to bring back trade values. Also, like, don't underestimate what you can actually just do. Like, a lot of the things that you spend money on, you don't actually have to spend money on. It's just that within society, they make rules so that you can't. So, like, you know, there are houses that are empty that you should have a right to be in a home, and you should have the right to pursue comfort for yourself and your family. But they hoard all of that, and if you don't have capital, then they don't give it to you. But like, that's one of the reasons why I loved Slab City so much, is because if I needed a roof over my head, I could build one, and that's exactly what I did. And I built my own solar power system. Like, there's no reason why you should be paying for shelter and food and water. Like, those things are out in the world, but they steal them from the people. They steal them from the working class, and then they hold them hostage so you can't have them. Let's see. Rules against barter trade, cashless transactions. Yep. Yeah, and they're making more rules now too. Like, you can't even, like, here in LA, you can't even occupy public space anymore unless you're doing something, you know. There's no public space available anymore. They've taken it all. Let's see. I'm not seeing any kickdowns today. I didn't get too many kickdowns yesterday either. I did get a few, and I sent links to my video to those people that kicked down. I hope y'all enjoyed it, because now it is private. Nobody can see it until Sunday. So if you saw my new video, I'm glad that you did, and I hope you join us on Sunday for the premiere. Lauren says, the house next to mine has been empty for 6 years. I've seen people go into it. I don't say anything because it gets super cold. I just give them a space heater and an extension cord. That's awesome. Hell yeah, that's praxis, Lauren. I love that. Hell yeah. If you see somebody stealing food, no, you fucking didn't. And if you see somebody sleeping in a tent, leave them the hell alone. Just sometimes not doing anything is the best that you can do too. And if you see police hassling homeless people, get your phone out and record it. Tell them that it's not okay. Yep, you saw nothing. Unless you did. If it's injustice, then you get your phone out and you film that shit and you put it all over the internet. Public shaming goes a long way, I tell you what. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why they're trying to ban TikTok too, because it's a really great way for people to share stuff directly with each other. And that communication between us is a huge threat to the powers that be. Yep, that's right. Wow, we got 48 people in chat here. That's great. Keep the trolls coming. We'll just keep banning them. It's nice when the trolls come in and say stupid shit and they get banned because, like, it's kind of like, skimming the turds off the top and throwing them away, and then we make more space for cool folks to be in chat. It's a lot of work, I guess, and there's probably a better way to do it, but, this is what we got right now. You don't have to be the best at something to do it, right? Like, just do it. If you don't see anybody else doing it, why not? That's why I started doing the Anarchist news segments. Does anybody okay, I want chat to tell me what are the random acts of anarchy that you have participated in your daily life. Nothing too small, like even just little things. Let me know. What do you do to help your community, and how do you build community in your own neighborhood? What are some things that y'all have been getting up to? Patricia Moore says a house near me took 3 years to sell, but it sold within a week after the registered sex offender next door moved away. Interesting. I don't know. I don't know how that really relates, but that's another thing. The law protects, like, it disempowers people from actually doing anything too. Like, I see so many videos of, like, people being shitheads in public, and then, like, people will try to reason with them and stuff, and it's like, bro, that's a literal Nazi. Like, why is nobody punching that guy? And the answer is because, the justice system actually impedes people from being able to protect themselves. Draconia Saga says planting seeds. That's good. There you go. Planting seeds of, especially, like, local plants. Even just learning and educating yourself on different topics that interest you. Boxer Man says some very creative spelling in here. Yeah, it's the internet. Fireball says I hire homeless for yard work, etc., and feed everyone that needs it. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a really good way to go about it. Just a Mom used to put kits together every winter for unhoused people and give them out when people were gathered sleeping at the bus station. That's awesome. I love that. Silver Sphinx says, I'm hoping you I'm hoping to open up my home as a safe space to more LGBT plus people I've made friends with. Hoping to strengthen connections so I can trade food and supplies with friends and their families. That's awesome. Hoping to grow plants like herbs and veggies to give out. Sweet. Yeah, do that. Just work on that. Even like little decisions that you make every day that get you closer to that dream and actualizing that is good. That's praxis. Lauren Sullivan participated in some what they call vigilantism in protecting themselves. That's fucked. That's crazy. Unicorn Ninja says, "How is any of this considered anarchism?" Elaborate. What is your concern here? Like, why are you asking that question? Mill Pill says, "Keep soup cans in your car. Give them out when you can. Also good for bug out road situations." Yeah, totally. I do that too. When I have a car, I don't right now. I do have a GoFundMe to get it back in running condition and get my license back. Honestly, just helping others is so damn worth it no matter what movement it's from. Definitely gonna put soup cans in the car now. Yeah. Yeah, carry like non-perishable goods with you wherever you go. Like if you got stuff in your pantry that you're probably not gonna eat, why not give them out to people? But you also got to remember that homeless people don't have homes, okay? So if you're giving them frozen stuff or stuff that needs to be cooked, like plenty of people will figure out what to do with it, but most of them don't have the means to do anything with it. So like dry goods is awesome. Also like granola, that type of stuff, making a trail mix. Um, Toiletries is always really good. Also, you got to remember that with cans, that you need a can opener to open cans. So if you're going to be handing out cans to people, get a bunch of those P32 can openers too and hand those out to people as well. Because then you know you can help them to open cans in the future when people give them to them. Otherwise, like I know tricks on how to open cans without a can opener, but not everybody does. Okay, so keep that in mind. Like if you hand a hungry person a can and they can't open it, that is extremely frustrating. Okay, so yeah, if you don't want to hand out P32s and teach people how to open cans with them, then make sure it's the pop top, you know, the one that you can grab and pull. Because otherwise, that's just torture. Fireball got hella P32s. That's awesome. Yeah, that would be a nice thing to hand out to folks. We put stuff we don't need in front of our driveway with the free sign. That's awesome. Yeah, we need more free piles. Put stuff out for free. The man doesn't want us to have anything for free, but you know what? There's stuff out there and there's no reason we can't have them and give them out. If you really believe that this is a free country, then we should be able to do that. We should be able to do whatever the fuck we want with what we own. That's another thing that's quietly disappeared, ownership of things. Now we're just paying subscriptions in order to use a service. You don't buy a movie and own it anymore. You stream it from the internet, and then whenever they decide to take it down, you can't watch it anymore. So pirating media is also praxis. I will gladly advocate for piracy. I'm not saying that I do it. I'm not saying that I don't do it. I'm just saying that it's praxis. How can you feed alcoholics that can't eat if they're going through withdrawal? Get them a beer too, for fuck's sake. If there's an alcoholic that's going through withdrawal, you get them a fucking beer. Then you give them some soup. It's not your job to regulate people's bodily autonomy, and you don't know how the fuck people got in the position that they're in. I'm an alcoholic, recovered now, but like, you know, it doesn't help to fucking insult people too and be like, oh well, you're an alcoholic going through withdrawals, so you don't deserve to eat. Like, fuck that. How are people supposed to get out of addiction if they can't even provide for their own basic needs and nobody cares to help them? Mill Pill says, I carry Pop Tab soup, also chunky soup, and no, because not everyone has teeth. Right? Yep. Unicorn Ninja says, paying property tax is like paying a subscription to have a home. Nothing is owned anymore. Yep, that's right. Yeah, I feel like just owning stuff, like having and owning things through whatever means that you can, is another form of activism in this day and age, at least. And that's a pretty sad state of affairs. Just a Mom says, I give people weed all the time. Hell yeah. Give people weed. Brent says, you look like the kid that reminded the teacher the report was due. I have no idea what that means. I got my GED. I got kicked out of school, so I don't know what stereotype you're drawing from. It's pretty weird. Silver Sphinx says, that's why I don't want a mortgage. Word. That's another reason why I squat. So it's like, if you can't own anything anyway, then what's the fucking difference? Hug and a blunt. Well, Lauren, that's a nice idea, but some people really don't want hugs either. Some people do, and that's great, but definitely ask before you put them on the spot like that. Um, Also, like fresh clothes, handing out fresh clothes to people. I see so many people, or like one thing that I do whenever I go on public transit is I go through the gate, like open the gate, especially when I'm coming out, and I prop it open so people can just walk in. If there's no people, like no guards making sure that everybody's paying, then yeah, prop the fire escape door open, leave it open so people can walk through. Um, you know, or go through the handicapped one and just like make sure there's people behind you that can get in as well. Just little things. Or if you're going in to use a bathroom somewhere and it's got like a door code, leave the bathroom open. Or if you see somebody else that might need to use it, let them in. Leave doors open. Oh, I see a homeless guy with a backpack out there right now. I see a lot of folks out here that look like Fallout characters, like they're pretty clean, but they're like clearly living on the street. They got like a decent looking like tactical backpack and stuff. They're just trying to make do. There's some forest nearby that a lot of folks stay at, and I see them like cooking food and with cooking fires and stuff. Sometimes I take supplies up that way and leave them around. They've also got like old water lines tapped so they can get water up where they're at, which is I think is really cool. Handing out fresh water, handing out fresh underwear. Hell yeah. Yeah, a lot of people on the street are like disabled in whatever capacity, and like I've seen I almost like every day I see a homeless person just like pissing and shitting just on the street or the sidewalk, and I feel so terrible. Like, we have the means to put porta johns around. There's porta johns for people that are in construction and stuff, and people use those. I try to unlock them when I can so that people can use them, but there's no human reason why it's okay for a person to have to sit in their own piss. Like, it sucks. There's this person by where I was getting my prosthetic worked on, and they seemed like a really nice person. I always saw them reading books, but they were also just like clearly disabled and just like pissing on themselves on the sidewalk. Like, and I've never seen anybody do that with so much dignity before. Like it's crazy to me, and it's sad because it's like there's bathrooms like feet away from this person that they can't access because they're dirty and homeless, and they're dirty and homeless because they can't access stuff. Veronica asks, what's your pronouns? I'm a they, them, sometimes he, him to certain people. Thanks for asking. Mermaiden gave a shoeless homeless man outside of the Quick Stop a beer on my way to my car and a bag of chips a couple weeks ago. Hope you liked it when you woke up later. Hell yeah, dude. I love that. I love leaving little treats for people when they're sleeping on the sidewalk. Ziva's Arc of Art says, my husband was a painter / artist. Rest in peace. He had very little money, but when he got it, he always bought food for poor families or gave his leather jacket to the homeless at the bus stop. That's really sweet. Rest in peace. Silver Sphinx asks, do you have any advice of possible places to leave a stash of food for folks? I know tree holes are a good spot. What about woody areas near train tracks? That's a good idea. But if it's in a woody area and it's not like a hop out per se, it's probably just going to sit there for a while. But yeah, I'd say like just bus stops in general are great, because if you're at a bus stop, you're probably not a person of financial means. But I think it's a little easier to just go out and find people, like, and having that personal touch of like interacting with people and saying like words of encouragement to them can mean a whole lot to a person, without like pointing your camera at them and making it all about you and how good of a person you are. Just like making those personal connections with people that are suffering is a radical act of resistance. And I think it's so important to do. And I think doing that publicly is also important, because it gives people that may have the means to be doing the same thing a little bit more resolve to see other people doing it. There is power in numbers, and there's power in impacting groups of people to do the same. Like there's so many of us there. Like I get not wanting to put yourself on blast for personal safety, but that's why it's radical. You know what I mean? Compassion is resistance against a heartless system. That's right. And maybe if you don't have the means to give things to people and help people out like that, sometimes taking care of yourself is the most radical thing that you can do as well, and getting yourself healthy so that you can get in a position where you can help other people. That's very important. For some people, that's the bottom line. Speaking of which, I do donate a large amount of any donations that y'all give to me to people here in my community and on the street. I donate every chance that I can there's a few people that I know that are in recovery right now and periodically need little basic things, like sometimes a hotel room or a bus ticket or a meal, or so many different things. Even just a pack of smokes. Sometimes a pack of smokes is the only thing holding somebody together while they're in recovery. As somebody who's been through recovery and does smoke, you got to pick your battles, and it's not up for me to decide which battles a person's going to pick. And if a pack of smokes is going to help somebody get through their day, then God damn it, I'll buy them a pack of smokes. So if you want to get down with the kick down, like I said, a fair amount of that goes to people in need in my immediate environment. Maybe you don't see too many homeless people in your daily life, but I sure do. And I get them snacks and I get them bus tickets. And, if I see somebody struggling in a wheelchair, I give them, I push them a few blocks so they can get to their bus stop. And I helped a lady get on her bus the other day. Um, and I'm not saying that to be like I'm a good person or whatever. I'm saying that as like an example of things that you can do. And if anybody feels called to donate, there are links in the description for my PayPal and Cash App and Venmo. Um, and I would love to see something going in there. My friend did a very kind thing for me yesterday, and they bought me a load of groceries, so I'm good on food right now. Thankfully, and I'm so grateful to them for that. CSC Swezzy says, should able-bodied homeless people that choose not to work receive financial or other forms of assistance? I think everybody should receive financial and forms of assistance, and that it's not up to you to decide whether a person is able enough to work or to police what they choose to do with their lives, or to be there tallying whether or not a person has in fact chosen not to work, or if there are other things at play, like economic things or social things at play, because our systems are flawed and humans are flawed. So there are things that we don't fully understand about what gets other people in the positions that they're in. If a person, nobody chooses to be homeless, okay? There are reasons why people get into the position that they're at. There are people that choose not to fuck with money, and that's cool. That's their choice. And there's people who choose to live outside of society, like I did for so long. Now I'm sort of living adjacent to society. I'm in LA, which is like, you know, my least favorite city. But it's growing on me, not because of the city itself, but because of the people that are in it. You know. But yeah, it's not up to us to decide if a person should or shouldn't be homeless. That's absolutely absurd. Just give people stuff. There's no reason why people shouldn't have basic necessities to live their lives. Let's see. Asim says, "Did you use weed for recovery?" Yeah, totally. Weed isn't the thing that I was addicted to, and I use kratom as well, which I am out of kratom. I have been using that to mitigate the immense amount of physical pain that I've been in because of my prosthetic leg. That there's no end in sight for this. I'm like deep in being disabled and homeless right now in LA. So if that gives a little bit of perspective to why I'm asking for donations for my content, then that's why. Um, and I really do need kratom because while my case is transferring to this county, I can't go and get referrals or prescriptions for anything, and it takes a month for. I didn't know this when I filed for the transfer here. I might have fucked myself over actually. Um, so I can't get pain medication, and it's unfortunate. Yeah. So that's one thing that I do spend money on right now is kratom, and it's not the greatest thing in the world. It is a habit forming substance. I'm not saying that y'all should be switching to kratom instead of alcohol, but it did definitely help me to kick alcohol, and now it's helping me to get through the pain that I'm in a lot of the time. Um, and because I'm in a lot of pain, I can't take labor jobs like I usually do. Like I usually take under the table work, which involves a lot of physical activity, but not everybody can do that, including me right now. And it sucks to say it, but that's what I'm in. That's the situation I'm in. Just a mom says equity and equality are two different things, right? Silver Sphinx says, I don't understand why people feel prompted to devalue others based on employment. Well, that's classism, man. You got to recognize it for what it is. Don't be a classist. It's not cute. David says, it feels good to help someone. Yeah, it does. And regardless of how it feels, because it's not about you. You should just do it because it's good. But it does feel good. It makes me, like, sometimes, if I'm having a really bad day and I go out of my way to just do something little unkind for somebody that's clearly struggling, whether they're struggling more or less than I am, it doesn't fucking matter. I'm not the struggle police. Just it's nice. It uplifts me and it gives me more strength to continue on with my day and my struggles as well. Sam says, I just woke up. Hello, y'all, talking about me. Hello. How's it going? Just a Mom says, value is not determined by production. That's right. That's a capitalist lie. C.S. Swezi says, just give people stuff. Where does it come from? Who cares? If you have it, give it to people. Stuff is everywhere. What do you mean? Who owns it? If there's food, like in a dumpster, go take it out and give it to people. Like, it exists in the world. It belongs to the people of this world. If it ain't harming anyone, then what do you care where it comes from? The oligarchs have been hoarding everything. The wealthiest few, people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, and what's that other fucker's name? Like some basic white guy name, Timothy Thiel or Michael Thiel or something like that. They're not using stuff, they're just hoarding it. And all those Fortune 500 companies, they're hoarding all the resources. Those resources belong to the people like you and I that occupy this world. There's more food than the people of this world can eat, but they're throwing it away because they want capital off of it. They want to make money off of it, and they don't care who dies for lack of food. Why Tree Given says, if the government just planted trees that grow food, it wouldn't be an issue. Yeah, totally. They tear down those trees and they put up decorative invasive species in all the public parks. They don't want, like, I'm looking at a park right now with trees in it. We're in California. Everything grows in California. There could be trees out here in public that people could be picking fruit off of. There's a forest out here. They take away the food because they want to seize the means of production. They don't want us to have anything. They would rather us die than eat for free. Patricia says, the police are doing sweeps in Sacramento today, taking all their things, including their food. Yeah, that's unjust. That's not right. In what world is that okay? Like, why are people just numb to this? Hell yeah, Sam. You get that coffee. I kind of want some more coffee myself. Mermaiden says, cigarettes and coffee got me through recovery. I agree, Corn. Hell yeah. Fuck it. And, every time I think to myself, like, man, I really want to give that homeless person $1, but, like, I only have a couple bucks. And it's like, you know what? I got enough to get home. I remember all of those times when I was detoxing in a really bad way, or like on the street in public, like visibly suffering, and people went out of their way to help me. And a lot of those people that did help me were people that were obviously not wealthy. Like, the greatest amount of people that would help me, and not only just like give me a couple bucks, like, but they'd also give me food and do like literally anything that they could, were Mexicans. Straight up. Fucking poor Mexicans. A lot of them didn't even speak English. I've gotten so many tamales for free for just being poor out in public from cute little Mexican moms in their shitty cars with their kids in the back or their family in the back, you know, than I've ever gotten from anybody else ever. Like I know I like maybe this is reverse racism, but I fucking love Mexicans, dude. Okay, like for real, they make the world go around. Especially out here in LA, there's tons of folks, and like they're awesome, and they do so much work, and a lot of it is like for nothing. You know, they're just trying to keep alive. Like if you're sitting there wondering how do you feed your family and keep a roof over your head, like look at poor families, especially like poor immigrant families in the US. Like they don't have anywhere near as much means as you do, and they find a way. It's not fair, of course, but they're crafty as fuck. So, you know, look to people that are in uh, a, a more what's the word I'm looking for? God damn it, my brain is full of the ADHD and the autism. I'm having trouble finding words. People that are in a worse situation financially than you, like a lot of them rely on having a large family, and that's why you see a lot of people that are immigrants that are more involved with their family and have lots more cookouts, and like get together to prepare food, like large amounts of food to have, so that everybody can eat good and have like good lunches when they're at their underpaid construction jobs. You know what I mean? C. Swezzy says, I'm not against helping people at all. We need a hand at one point, but people that don't want to help themselves or don't want to fuck with money, then they shouldn't fuck with others' money. Dude, shut the fuck up. You're dumb. It sounds like you are against helping people, actually. So I don't know what your whole deal is, but you need to search yourself, and I'm not going to have any part in that. I'm not going to sit here and explain to you again that it's not up to you to determine whether or not people deserve help. If they're asking for help, then they need help. So you sound like a cop, dude, and I'm not going to fuck with that. Yeah, I'm not telling you to give me money, but if you want to give me money, I appreciate it. I definitely can use it. I'm not holding you at gunpoint here. And you are being a freeloader right now. You're literally on my channel consuming my content for free, and you're taking up my time in trying to argue about whether or not people deserve help. If you don't want to help them, then don't. But don't come at me saying that you actually do believe in helping people when you don't, because that's bullshit. I have no time for that. Peter Thiel. Thank you. That's it. Yep. Thank you. I knew it was some basic ass white boy name. No offense to anybody in chat that's named Peter, okay? It's okay to have a basic white boy name, but it's not okay to have a basic white boy name when you're a fucking oligarch and you're stealing resources from the people of the world, okay? Fireball says, not allowed to eat any fruit. They've pulled all public avocado in LA. That is disgusting. And they've also made it illegal to exist on a sidewalk while having a pillow and a blanket. Like, they literally just want people to fucking die at this point. Boxerman says, I'm a Peter. Lol, true. You're one of the good ones, though, man. It's okay. It's okay. My name is Cornelius. That's not a basic white boy name, but it is. Well, no, actually, I think I've met more Corneliuses, more Cornelii, if you will, that are black men. Actually, it's a popular black man name. I've been learning, which is kind of awesome. But yeah, no shade to any Peter here in chat, but full shade on the ruling class. Okay, we got to practice class solidarity. Working class solidarity is very important. It's not us versus each other. It's us versus the ruling class. You got to keep that in mind. And when we say eat the rich, we don't mean like regular rich people with like means and they went to a good college and have a decent house. Like, yes, they do have a responsibility to cultivate class consciousness and recognize the position that they're in, and that's a whole different discussion. But when I say eat the rich, I mean, like, I got to be careful with what I say. Y'all know how I feel about billionaires. Anybody that's seen me go off on rants about about the ruling class knows exactly what I want for them. Okay. Isaiah McFarland says, "What is solidarity mean?" Chat, give me the definition of solidarity. Let's go. Isaiah is wondering what solidarity means, and I want us as a community to help bring this person into the movement more. We want to be inclusive. I'd rather eat Travis Kelce. Who's Travis Kelce? I don't know who that is. I should look him up. It's a hand up, not a hand out. G asks, what's this channel about? Okay. Chat, 2 questions now. What is solidarity? And second question, what is this channel about? ABC XYZ is triggered because I said white boy name. Why do you have to bring skin color into this? Okay, shut up, dude. Fucking thin-skinned little snowflake bitch. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I'm trying to be nicer. And I have no excuse. Yesterday I said something kind of mean to somebody that was unnecessary. It wasn't wrong, it just wasn't necessary. And my excuse then was I hadn't had a cigarette in a couple days because I couldn't afford them. Now I have smokes. I have no excuse. I'm sorry, ABC XYZ, for calling you a thin-skinned little bitch. That was incorrect. I'm biting my tongue. Yeah, I just really don't have any empathy for white people that get all butthurt about me talking about whiteness. I have every right to bring whiteness into this. And I have talked about, I did a live stream about how whiteness is actually the erasure of culture. It's not a real culture. It's not a real race. And it's not even a real skin color, actually. It's a concept. It's a what's the word I'm looking for? It's a construct. Whiteness isn't a real thing. It's a symptom of supremacy. It's a symptom of racism. So if you are emotionally attached to your whiteness, then you're probably a racist. At worst, you're a fucking Nazi. At best, you're confused. So maybe ABC is confused. I'll give you the benefit of a doubt. Let's see what chat is saying about solidarity. Rich P says unity or agreement of feeling or action, especially among individuals with a common interest, mutual support within a group. Hell yeah. Sam says friendship and strength for same struggles we share together. Kinda. I like that. That's very nice. Free experimental submarine trips for CEOs. Yes. Yes, more of those, please. Silver Sphinx says solidarity is unity through compassion, but I'm honestly still learning what it means. Okay, we're going to look it up in just a sec after I finish this little smoke here. Jet Ison says, what's good, bro? Hey, what's good? Justamana says, when autonomy meets community. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Fazal says, I'm not racist. That's good. Hell yeah. We don't like racists around these parts. If you're a racist, get the fuck off my channel. Thank you very much. But go ahead and say some inflammatory shit before you leave so we can ban you also. And don't let the door hit you while you're heading out. Make sure that the door slams you right on the neck like a fucking guillotine. Silver Sphinx says it's too easy to simplify and divide by saying blacks and whites. These words cause damage, I think. Yeah, when I talk about white people, I am being facetious. I'm not going to give a whole background, like, whatever. It's more of a lampoon. But whiteness is a real thing. Just because it's a construct doesn't mean that it's not something that even I benefit from. There is such a thing as white privilege because of the system that perpetuates and gives people privilege within it because they match the definition of whiteness, even though it's a made up thing. But the moment you embrace whiteness, you erase your actual ethnicity. And, my ethnicities are, I'm Ukrainian and Norwegian and Irish and a little German, I guess. I don't know if German is, well, yeah, I guess that's in European countries. There's a lot of history behind that as well. I don't know how much ethnicity is left in a lot of European countries. Yes, you can be proud of your culture. I'm not, yeah. That's the thing. People get whiteness and their actual ethnicity and culture confused. You look Filipino. Oh, thank you. All the Filipinos I know are hot as fuck, so I'll take that as a compliment. Maybe I am a little bit. I don't know. I was adopted, so it's hard to know exactly what I am. And I've resisted getting like a DNA test because, they sell your DNA to shady people. So I don't know about that. Fazo Resum says, I am white. I have no privilege. Shut up, dude. Silver Sphinx says, I'm white. I'm exhausted. That's valid. Chaotic says, are you a trans? I don't know how to. I don't know what that has to do with anything, or what a trans, like a Trans Am. No, I'm not a car, dude. Why hate on white, bro? Get the fuck out of my chat if you're just gonna trigger yourself about whiteness. This is a stream about anarchy. What is anarchy? What is an anarchist? Do we have a? You don't have to out yourself on my chat, but do we have any practicing anarchists that are comfortable with publicly stating that they are an anarchist? I promise I'm not going to put you on a watch list. I'm definitely on a watch list. Who here fucks with anarchy? Raise your hand. Sam says anarchism is the right to continue scrolling. Yeah, this chat is anarchy. You're all anarchists now. we are the we are our own enforcement in the space that we occupy. And right now, you're occupying my space. You're a guest in the space that I occupy. So if I decide to ban you, that's my right. I can tell you to fuck right off. Silver Sphinx says I'm not white, but I couldn't help the dad joke. I really appreciate the dad joke. That was very funny. I'm a periodic anarchist. That's cool, man. That's valid, Boxer Man. I appreciate your forthcomingness. Fazal Razam just proved themselves to be a liar. They said that they're not racist, and then they said some racist shit. All right, you're getting banned. Goodbye. Good riddance. Wolf Theo said some really ignorant shit. They said anarchists don't ban, you are not an artist. What? Dude, you don't even know what you're saying. Emperor Wang says I'm an anachronism. That's cool. Okay. And actually, yeah, that's very funny. That this confused person thinks that anarchists don't band together. Solidarity, as I said a few times on this stream, is a core tenet of anarchy and anarchism and anarchist practice. It's kind of like the whole thing about it. Um, yeah. Ziva's Arc of Art says, I'm an anarchist, so is my dad. Solidarity is being one with your neighbor, community, standing up together. Solidarity grows out of empathy. Yeah, I think that's right. Fran Elliott says, he telling the truth, that's a band. What? Anarchism is a band? Okay. But they said it's not a band. I don't. You guys are confusing me and yourselves. Isaiah says, I honestly want to be an archy, but the thing is, I don't know where to start. You've already started, dude. Congratulations. Welcome to Antifa. Good job. You've taken a first step. You're curious. You're learning. That's it. That's all there is to it. There's no perfect anarchist, and we're always learning. Deconstructing the conditions of our society and our privilege is a constant thing. As much as I've been a practicing anarchist, every day there is work to be done, and there's learning. Baby's First Anarchy, yes, welcome. We love it. Emperor Wang says Johnny Rotten says he was an anarchist in God's sake. No, he's not. No. Johnny Rotten is a piece of shit. The Sex Pistols is garbage. And honestly, I think I think the Sex Pistols getting to the level that they were at was a psyop of the punk and anarchist movement. Those people, that stupid fake punk group, did more to disempower punk movements and make movements look like a joke to the public than like any other entity. Yeah, fuck them. Fucking feds. Unicorn Ninja says Antifa started in Portland, where I'm from. I left Portland because it's broken. I don't think any of that is correct. At all, actually. That might be the narrative that you've gotten, but that's not correct. And Portland, I've been through Portland a number of times in the last few years since the riots. I didn't get into Chaz, but I had friends that were in Chaz, and helping hold it down. But yeah, there was a lot of tumult within Antifa in Portland during those times. Fireball says Steve Jones is a cool guy IRL. Actually, I don't know who Steve Jones is. Sam says, we're not the crazy make chaos in society. We work hard to cut the lies and false power structure a little bit so life is not so confusing. Correct. Emperor Wang says, yes, anytime there's a major social movement, there will appear a parodic entity of it that was installed there by the overlords. Correct. Thank you for that comment, Emperor Wang. It's a good thing to note. Mermaiden says, yes, I'm an anarchist. I've lived on an anarchist commune in NorCal. That's awesome. I'd love to visit sometime. I'm just going to call you Sweezy from now on. Sweezy says, didn't people get raped or sexually assaulted in Chaz? There were definitely some interesting things happening in Chaz. It's hard to get real information on specific things that happened. The biggest thing that I heard about was that there was kind of a rogue gunman at one point, and it caused some confusion in like how to organize and handle it. And you know, there was definitely some issues within that led to it falling, and there's reasons behind that. You know, they do send feds in to cause confusion. That's a thing that happens, and with confusion that erodes any organization or structure that people have been working toward. And unfortunately, it was successful in the case of Chaz. Isaiah says, I got to go get a Christmas tree, but you have a great day. I hope everything keeps going well for you. Hope to see you next week. Thanks, Isaiah. Make sure, make sure you practice good and at least informed decisions when you're purchasing things like that. Sam says, yes, Corn plays and sings. They're quite good. Thank you. If you go to my homepage, you can actually see a music video of me singing one of my songs. It's on the channel preview. Go take a look and give it a like. Seth is trying to set me up for saying something stupid. Obvious troll is obvious. Good job. Silver Sphinx says, I've always wanted to visit a commune. Hell yeah, do it. All right, we're almost at 2 hours. I'm going to go look up what the internet says about solidarity, and we're going to go on a little search rabbit hole here. And if anybody else has any more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's ironic because vocabulary. If anybody has any more vocabulary questions that we can clarify here on stream, I would love to do that while I'm sitting in front of my computer here. Oops. Let's take a look. All right. Let's look up solidarity definition. And all this that I'm doing, you can do for yourself too. You don't have to wait for me to look it up for you and help you with definitions. That can be another part of your anarchist practice, educating yourself. But I'm doing it for you just to help. I'm spoon feeding it because some people need that. You know, no shade. We're here to learn and grow together. Solidarity is unity or agreement of feeling or action, especially among individuals with a common interest, mutual support within a group. I think somebody posted that in chat already. Yeah, it's basically just like putting aside your differences for a common goal. So with working class solidarity, it's remembering that we are not fighting each other. It's not, you know, white people versus black people, for example, or middle class versus homeless people, or straights versus gay people, or trans people, or whatever. It's remembering who our real enemy is. That's the ruling class, the people that are hoarding all of the resources and causing all the strife and turmoil in this world. They're the ones funding all the wars with our money, taking things from us and using them to harm other people who are also in the struggle, such as us. Let's see. Oh, interesting. Solidarity is also an independent trade union movement in Poland that developed into a mass campaign for political change and inspired popular opposition to communist regimes across Europe during the 1980s. Interesting. The origin comes from mid-19th century French, actually. And it's interesting to see that the use of the word solidarity has grown immensely since the 1950s, and even since 2019, more people are using and becoming familiar with the concept of solidarity more than ever. I'm looking at let's see. I'll just show it to you. Here is the use of the term solidarity over the years since the mid 1900s up to the 1950s over here. And now it's going up. People are becoming class conscious, especially in the last few weeks. Now the conversation of class consciousness has come to everybody, which I think is beautiful. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down and see if anybody had any other terms that we could learn from. I don't see anything here. Nice shirt. Thank you. Hell yeah. We like trains. Mermaiden says, yes, lots in certain more free-thinking areas. The two that I have been in, one was in NorCal and one was in Asheville. Yeah, there's a lot of collectives in Asheville. There were several in both places. We would meet up in town a lot of times. A good place to start too in meeting people that are in collectives is like find out if there's like an anarchist book fair in your town or a zine distribution hub. Usually it's going to be at like a bookstore that, you know, if you see like picket signs and flags and stuff on the front for different movements and marginalized people and advocating for working class solidarity and struggle, that's a good spot to start. Look for the zine section, find out who's distributing what zines. There is a really good zine distributor that I'm going to look up right now that I have been following for a long time and who has sent zines to a couple of different anarchist libraries that I've had my hands on. I'm going to send, let's see. It's Mongoose Distro out of, I think, New York. I'm just going to drop the link here. And if you have like an anarchist library in your town that you would like some radical zines in, you can go ahead and ask them to send some to you, or see if you can get like a big drop. So a lot of times it's free. Sometimes you got to pay shipping. It depends. Silver Sphinx says, "What are zines?" It's spelled Z-I-N-E. It's the shortening of like magazine. You know, basically it's an independent publication written by whoever. There are collectives that put out zines or distribute certain zines about specific topics. It is anti-fake news. You know, it's real people writing about their real experiences and you know, distributing information that is often unavailable elsewhere to curious minds. So it's really important to get involved with independent publication and distribution of independent publication. Thank you for asking. Read all the banned books. Hell yeah. Yes. If they're trying to make it so that people can't get their hands on literature or reading materials, you got to wonder, like, what is it about this material that scares them? Because they don't do that with straight up genocidal and racist literature. That's very available. You can go and buy Mein Kampf and other Nazi stuff. But you know, they took critical race theory out of schools, and I know that's a big trigger word for a lot of people. But learning about inequity within racialized systems is a big no-no for the powers that be. So, you know, if they don't want you to read it, read it. Let's see. Thanks for sharing Mongoose info. Sent a little kick down on Venmo. Thank you so much. Let me just take a look. I love having my second phone now. I'm doing poor core right now, but also like techie hacker core. I boycott Apple altogether. I fucking like they're destroying the global south. And they're responsible for the death and bloodshed and enslavement of people in specifically in the Republic of Congo, which I've been learning about a little bit over the last few days. Like I knew that that was a thing, but I've started like actually getting more interested in the specifics of that, which I would love to talk about in the future as well. Um, Hell yeah. I'm seeing a little kick down from Mermaiden. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And if anybody else wants to get down with the kick down, it really does help me right now. I'm in a lot of pain. I'm unmedicated, and I can only wait for my case to be transferred to this county. And I'm afraid that once it is, it's going to be even worse because LA is very hostile to the poor, and it's getting worse. So we're going to navigate that together and see how that works out. So if you want to mitigate um, my personal hardship, then you can go ahead and drop a couple bucks. Even just $1 or $2 helps. It really does. And when I have extra stuff, I'm giving it to people that are in worse situations than I am. You know, bus fare, meals, clothes, toiletries, etc. And I I don't buy from large corporations. I buy from street vendors. So all of the money for goods that I use goes to people, like directly to people in cash if I can help it. Because a lot of these street vendors only take cash. And my food, like I boycott fast food altogether. I order a pizza once in a while, but it's from this one joint down the way, and they're their own business. And I don't even order through through Uber Eats. I have before in the past. Oops. Oh hey, we're live. We still here? I have in the past. You know, you got to pick and choose your battles, but as a rule, like if I'm gonna order food, which is really rare, I go to the website if possible, or call the place that I'm buying from and set it up that way. It's a little bit more work, but it's really not that much more work. And that way you're ensuring that the money goes straight from you to that business that's owned by people, by human beings, not corporate ghouls. And there's not another entity skimming off the top of it. Thank you so much, Taco Bell Wi-Fi. I really appreciate that. Um, that's really sweet of you. Hell yeah. And I love that. Thank you so much. Also, just a reminder, if you do want to donate, it's better to donate through the links in the description here. I'm going to just post my links here because it in like exactly what I was talking about. If you donate through on my channel, YouTube takes 10%, and I don't see that money until like a month and a half, 2 months from now when the payout rolls through. But it will get to me. It's just that Google takes a fat cut. But either way, I do appreciate it. But if you're a person that's sitting out there and you're like, man, I want to send a couple bucks to Cornelius, go ahead and check out one of those links, or go to Venmo and donate directly. Sam says, I'm still smoking to get ready to make coffee. That's chill. Taco Bell, I dig the username. Yeah, me too. That's a good username. It's fucking awesome. Silver Sphinx says, what the fuck? God damn it, YouTube. Yeah, for sure. I don't love that I'm making money for Google and YouTube. But there's not really a better platform right now. I've been searching for a long time, and this is just where I'm at. It's like, you know, a lot of you work at jobs making money for people that are monsters. But at the end of the day, like what are you going to do about it? There's a lot of things we can do about it, like that. I do ask for donations through those links so Google doesn't skim off of us. but you know, we can mitigate. And when there is a better option, trust and believe, I'll be there and I'll let y'all know where I move to. And also making people aware of like what's going on with YouTube, I think is an important thing too. Because if this is where I'm at, I'm not going to be quiet about it. I'm not going to be quiet about how badly YouTube screws over creators. And I have gotten videos pulled and demonetized, and I've gotten my channel muted, and I've had a lot of issues in speaking up about that. But you know, YouTube gives me a platform. I'm going to use it against them, so they can go fuck themselves. And if they ban me, then I'll start putting videos out on Vimeo, and then you're all going to have to do some actual work to find them. But you know, if you want to avoid that, in case I ever do get taken off of YouTube, which would be awful, I don't think that's going to happen at this point. It might, you know, it's really arbitrary when they decide to do that. But if you want to stay in touch, if that did happen, go and join my Discord server. That way you can also talk to other reprobates and exchange information. If you don't have an anarchist community to join and be part of, join us here on oops, that's Patreon. I'm sorry. Or yeah, join my Patreon too. Shit. But here's the Discord. And you can join my Patreon also. Oh, I can't even put the Discord invite. It's too long. Oh. Okay, hold on. Hold on. There we go. Okay, there we go. And Patreon meant that I got to see Corn's train video last week. Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't always post stuff to my Patreon, but when I do, it's a good payoff. So like, you know, maybe you won't hear from me on Patreon for a little while, but trust and believe if that's the case, you know, I'm gonna make good on it. I'm gonna light my sage here. I put a bunch of candle wax on my sage. I don't know if that was a smart thing to do or not. I think that was probably a dumb thing to do. Yeah, it was probably not the right thing to do. Whatever. I'll try it later. It'll burn like hell once it starts going. Yeah, and check out my merch too. There are t-shirts and stuff. I will be making like hand screen printed shirts in the future, but for right now, that's the way to do it. I don't love Teespring either, but it does help. I get at least in that when you do wear my stuff and people ask you about it, you can be like, hey, I know about this cool YouTuber. You should check out their stuff. Eleanor 99 says, wait, isn't anarchy having no government, everybody for themselves? No, it's not. And I encourage you to go back and watch the entirety of this video after I'm done. Or just take a moment and look up anarchy on the internet. Look up, let's see, core tenets of anarchy. Let's do anarchism. You got to remember that anarchy and anarchism are different things. It's like the difference between music and music theory, okay? So there's the actual act and experience and reality of anarchy, and then there's the theory of anarchy, the political theory or whatever. But you know, anarchy isn't politics. It's just a state of being. Anarchists consider the state as a tool of domination and believe it to be illegitimate regardless of its political tendencies. Instead of people being able to control the aspects of their life, major decisions are taken by a small elite. There's no category. This is all like kind of wrong. Okay, the Anarchist Library. Here we go. I'm going to post the link from here in the chat. This is the website, the Anarchist Library, and all of you should be on the Anarchist Library. This is a really great resource, okay? Go to this, bookmark this. It's got um, all the zines that are available through PDF on here, I believe. Common myths of anarchism. Anarchists advocate complete chaos. This is a complete myth with no basis in reality. Anarchists do not advocate chaos, and anarchy does not mean chaos. Similar slander used to be said about the ideas of democracy and republics. In places where a monarchy was thought necessary, the idea of elected governments was often equated with complete chaos. This association is the result of slander by the powerful, the state, corporations, etc., that control the media, and is unfortunately not a surprise. Since anarchists seek to overthrow them, it is not surprising that they would slander anarchism with all sorts of absurd nonsense. These are common myths. What anarchism really stands for. Anarchy comes from the Greek and literally means no rulers. Anarchists are anti-authoritarians who seek to abolish domination. It is important to differentiate between two types of authority: legitimate or rational authority and illegitimate or irrational authority. In other words, there's a difference between being an authority and having authority. Being an authority means that a person is recognized as competent for any particular task based on their knowledge and individual skills. It is socially acknowledged expertise. Legitimate authorities are experts who are particularly knowledgeable, skillful, or wise in any particular area. It may be in our best interest to follow their recommendations, but they have no power to force us to do so, nor should they. Legitimate authority is this kind of authority, the authority of an expert. Having authority is a social relationship based on status and power derived from a hierarchical position within a group. It means dividing society or the group into the order givers and the order takers. The order givers, the authorities, tell the order takers what to do, and they must obey. This is illegitimate authority. A boss, for example, is an illegitimate authority because employees must obey his orders. When something is described as authoritarian, it usually means that it uses illegitimate authority, like cops and politicians and stuff. You know, hierarchy is essentially institutionalized authority, is a pyramidally structured organization consisting of a series of grades, ranks, or offices of increasing power, prestige, or remuneration. I don't know what remuneration means. Those with lower ranks must obey those with higher ranks. This is the same thing as illegitimate or irrational authority, that is relations of command and obedience. Another name for this is domination. What anarchists oppose: hierarchy, capitalism, the state, representative, false democracy, false socialist states, patriarchy, heterosexism, white supremacy, imperialism. And the basic principles of anarchism are anti-authoritarianism, free association, mutual aid, freedom, self-management, radical egalitarianism, and feminism. So this is a good read, and it's a really good introduction to the Anarchist library. Definitely check out the archive, okay? All of you should be checking this out and reading this stuff. Your homework assignment is to read 3 or more zines from the Anarchist library. It doesn't matter what they're about. And then on my next live stream, tell me about what you learned. And definitely read the basic principles of anarchism. Also, take it with a grain of salt as well, because anarchism is a theory, like I said. It's not a Bible, okay? It's just what we've got. And this is much better, a much more realistic perspective of what anarchism and anarchy means and what the tenets of anarchism are than what I've seen through just simple Google searches. So this is a good place to start if you're genuinely interested. Okay? Read some zines, get involved, and go feed some hungry people. I didn't expect this stream to be 2 hours, but I'm going to do one more shout out. If anybody wants to get down with a kickdown, Satan and I, we got groceries right now, so we're good on that. But otherwise, I think I may have like $30 in my bank account right now. I'm in a lot of pain. I need kratom badly, and transportation has been really difficult lately. and anything extra that I ever have goes straight to folks in need in, you know, in my daily encounters. Silver Sphinx says they're like guidelines, like the pirate codex. Yes, they are. Nobody says fuck cooperation. Why are you here? Okay. Hell yeah. Oh, fuck corporations, I think he meant to say. Dumpster dive. Okay, I got you. Hell yeah. Okay. Yes. Dumpster diving is cool. Get food. Liberate. That's not stealing, that's liberating. If they're gonna lock up perfectly good food in dumpsters, go liberate that food. Yeah, Sam, I think nobody made a typo. I think that's what was happening. That's okay. Let's see. Just gonna take a look here. First thing I'm gonna do is go pick up some kratom for sure. I'm in a lot of pain. Oh shit. Hell yeah. Kyle kicked down on the Venmo. Thank you so much, Kyle. I really appreciate you. Hell yeah. Let's take a look on Cashapp before I fuck off and see if anybody kicked down on Cashapp. And again, thank you so much to Taco Bell Wi-Fi kicking down here through stream. I really appreciate you. Oh, looks like Aaron sent me a kick down, I think yesterday. I guess I didn't see it. Thank you so much, Aaron. You're a fucking, you're a gem. Great news coverage. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, I don't want to go off on, I'm going to have to do another update about the Luigi case, because that just them deciding that he's a terrorist really caught me off guard. I expected them to just do that and like, with no fanfare. Lots of people go through court cases that are high profile and they take weeks for things, because they're actually like looking into stuff. But they just threw the book at him and closed it, which is obviously an affront to the judicial system. But I've got plenty to say about that, and I'm not going to get into it this late in the stream. I'm about to fuck off, actually. Your tubing says local punk is dope. Hell yeah. I don't know who that is, but that sounds cool. Yes, kratom is addictive. That's correct. So is any painkillers. Just Mom says support, fam. Thank you. Support. Love all of you guys. I'm gonna head out. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope I hope that we learned something together today. Yeah, go on out there and be a good person and give a shit about stuff, because that's radical. All right. I'll catch y'all later. Take care of yourselves. Love you guys.